Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hilal Dadia. We have with us Mrs. Suprita Reddy, who's the CEO, Mr. Sunil Chandra Kondapally, who's the ED, and Narasimha Raju K, who's the Chief Financial Officer at Vijaya Diagnostic Center, joining in. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, and a pleasure to speak to you. Firstly, congratulations on this milestone with regards to where the IPO goes. Let my first question come to you overall in terms of what is the entire idea behind the IPO, and I mean, how soon a milestone was this that we were looking to cross?
So firstly, thank you, Hilal, for having us on your channel. It's our pleasure. So in terms of the IPO itself, the details of the issue are it's a pure offer for sale. The company does have a private equity investor who's been on board with us since 2016, Kedara Capital and Karakura Mia own about 40% of the shareholding, and they are offering 30% in this issue. So post-issue, they will still continue to own about 10%. And 5% is being offered by the promoter group. So a total of 35% of the capital of the company is being offered in this issue as an OFS issue. And in terms of the company itself, we are a 40-year-old company. Our founder, Dr. Reddy, is a doctor, a radiologist. He started with this vision of, he was the first to introduce the concept of having integrated, all diagnostic services under one roof. So patients did not have to go to different places. And we've grown today to over 80 centers. More than 90%, about 93% of our business comes from the B2C, which means patients actually walk into one of our centers. So that strong brand that we have built and the customer stickiness is what has resulted in a very profitable business, our industry-leading margins. EBITDA margins were over 40%, PAT margins were over 20%. And the cash accrual has resulted in us being debt-free. Company, in fact, has liquidity on the books. So that is the reason why the company is not really raising any primary issuance. We already have cash on the books, in fact, which will be used for the growth, for the future growth of the company.
Right. So there is no money that we are going to use that comes in from the IPO with regards to growth and expansion, right?
From the IPO, no. But again, we do have we have visibility on our growth plans, yes.
Right. Overall, apart from that, in terms of where the network goes, we do see that there is large amount of concentration with regards to the south. So is that the strategy going to be with regards to where expansion goes as well?
So we are, of course, very strong in Andhra, Telangana. These are our home states. And if you look at the diagnostic market, Andhra, Telangana itself, the total size of the diagnostic market is about 5,100 crores. And our current market share is at about 7%. So obviously, there is a lot of opportunity to grow here in these two states itself. And in fact, we want to grow and consolidate our leadership here. That is one of the priorities. But in addition to these two states, we are also looking at the neighboring states. We are looking at tier 2 locations in other southern states, which are within a 4 to 5 hour, I would say, distance by road from Hyderabad and our home market. So again, these are some regions where we will be opening up new centers. And lastly, we are also looking at Eastern India. So we are already present in Kolkata, and we see there is a big opportunity in that region. So we will also be adding some centers in that region, Eastern India region. So these will be the three growth strategies for us.
Right. So overall,
like to add here that the model itself is a little differentiated because we grow and expand more in concentric circles in a hub and spoke kind of a model. So we've always believed in going deep into our markets, which is more sustainable and meaningful also. So we go in with a large format center. Once that stabilizes and gets accredited, then that's when we start adding the asset-light centers. So in the entire operational network of 81 centers, you see that all the centers have some amount of radiology. Some would have basic radiology and some would have advanced radiology. And all of the centers would be offering pathology services. So that's a very different model compared to any other players that are existing in the market today.
Right. So absolutely, I was coming to this as well, that a lot of pathology, diagnostic brands are following an asset-light model right now. However, yes, there are a certain amount of tests, etc., where you really cannot have an asset-light model. You have to be asset-heavy. So taking that aspect into consideration, in terms of services, tests, etc., that we provide, what's the revenue breakup looking like?
We would offer everything from the most basic pathology to the most advanced imaging test, and we look at it as one model. So on an overall revenue level, if you have to break it up, 65% would be coming in from pathology and 35 from radiology.
Okay. And going ahead as well, in terms of the revenue breakup that we have, are we expecting a change to happen on that front?
No, actually, Hiral, if you look at historically also, this mix of 65-35 has remained almost the same over the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years. So, we're not seeing any big shift in the mix.
And Hiral, going forward, also, the strategy is to offer integrated service under one roof, which is the core DNA of the company. So we expect that the same proportion, like the 65% revenue coming from pathology and the 35% coming from radiology, would continue going forward as well.
Right. And overall, in terms of COVID as well, I mean, yes, a lot of businesses have suffered, but medical has been one field. I mean, it's a very mixed emotion to say that this is a field which has benefited due to COVID. But for a pathology as well, how big a business stream is due to COVID right now?
Let me explain. In the last year, in fact, FY 21, when COVID came in, our local regulatory framework, even though we were the first to be approved by ICMR to test COVID, we were not allowed to test COVID. Any allowed to test COVID in this region. So we started testing COVID only from Q2. And on an overall level, so it was only 9 months of last year that you see the COVID revenues, and about 14% of the revenues came in from COVID RT-PCR and COVID antibodies. And when it comes to FY 21 this year's, Q1 was about 15.3% came in from COVID RT-PCR testing.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, for us, obviously, again, I don't think anybody has enjoyed, being having revenue coming from this. So, I think for us at least, what we found is that our non-COVID business took a hit, obviously, and the COVID, in a sense, revenue-wise, at least, just compensated for it. So, whenever you would see a wave, you would see more COVID testing revenue, you would see more COVID. And as things improve, you would see the COVID revenue coming down, but the non-COVID kind of normalizing. So in that sense, we see that as being fairly revenue neutral for us in terms of the business.
Right. So right now, if you have to, say on an annual basis, are we back to pre-COVID levels in terms of non-COVID revenues?
We are not back to 100%, but I think we are close to. Again, in our region, we have seen that right now the number of COVID cases has been quite low. Things are better. So we are seeing that steady increase in the non-COVID revenues.
Right. In terms of geographies as well, I think 96% of our revenues come from Hyderabad. Now, yes, we do have presence in other cities as well. So what is going to be the strategy from here on to to reduce the dependence with regards to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh?
Here, basically, it's actually not 96% of Hyderabad. It is 96% from Andhra, Telangana combined.
Okay.
So the two states combined is about 96, and the remaining 4% comes from, of course, Kolkata and a little bit from NCR. But going forward, as we mentioned, we are going to expand in Andhra Telangana for sure, because we only have 7% of the market even today. But we will also add centers in some of the neighboring states, as well as continue to grow in Eastern India. So over the next few years, you will see that contribution coming down. But again, our industry itself, I think it is a fact that every player has a market where they have a strong brand recall. And in fact, some of those players have more than 20% market share in their home markets. It's kind of been a trend in this business. And we feel there's nothing wrong in that. I think it's where we have built this brand and where we would like to see that brand resulting in more patients, using our services.
Right. So are we trying to say that in terms of expansion as well, South and Eastern India is something where our pockets will be over the next, say, 3 to 4 years?
Yes, absolutely. We don't have any focus on other regions at this point of time.
Right. And in terms of services that we offer as well, are we going to see an expansion of bouquet happening on that front as well? Or are we going to concentrate on the bouquet of services that we have right now?
So actually, we are already integrated, which means that we do pretty much, all the basic to advanced in imaging also, right from an X-ray all the way up to MRI, PET, CT. There's not much we don't do. Now, as a very technology-focused company, every year we are constantly looking at whatever is new. So we do add new tests, whatever new technology comes out. We are usually one of the first in the industry to, offer that to our patients. So that is something that will continue. But our test menu even today is quite deep.
Almost about 2,200 tests. And it's always been a practice that almost 50 to 60 tests year on year get added. That's because of the requirements of what we see from customers and also newer tests coming in, technology developing. So that will continue to happen.
Right. And overall, if you see in terms of the pricing, how are we as compared to peers?
So we get asked this quite a bit. So we wanted to obviously give our investors, a good opportunity where they can grow with us. So I think our IPO pricing is at a good discount to the.
I think she's asking about test pricing.
You're asking about test pricing or the IPO?
Test pricing.
Test pricing.
So Hiral, Dr. Reddy started the center actually working in a government hospital, and it was a time when he saw that patients were getting inconvenienced, in fact, going to different centers, multiple centers, and also the differentiated pricing in the markets those days itself. So the vision was to be able to offer the best-in-class technology at very affordable prices. So in line with that, and as we grew, it's always been that we can be compared to even an unorganized player. Forget about your national players or peers. So that's the kind of pricing that we have. We don't even have an annual price increase kind of a policy. Whenever there's something that increases for us as an input cost, that's when we pass it on to the customer. So if you look at the growth that's happened in the last few years, predominantly because of the volumes and not because of the increase in the test pricing at all.
Right, absolutely. There are, two different models. Either people look at volumes or it's lower volumes and higher pricing. So it's a fair game to look at more volumes with a lower pricing. And in fact, affordability and reachability also increases with this kind of a model that we look at. And with this, coming back to you, in terms of the IPO pricing, we're pretty much in line with the peers which are listed right now. Any rationale behind the same?
So basically, I think as Suprita mentioned earlier, our last year, FY21, when you look at it, that Q1 for us was an outlier because although we were approved, we were not able to do COVID testing. So when you look at the PE multiple, I would submit that instead of looking at Q1, if you look at our last 4 quarters, Q2 through Q1 of FY22, and you look at what our earnings per share or the multiple is, we are at our issue price is at about 47 times our profit after tax. And if you compare that with the peers, you'll find that is quite a big discount, in fact.
Correct. And overall, what's going to be the roadmap or the next milestone that Vijaya Diagnostics is looking to cross?
If you ask us where do we see ourselves in 5 years, Hiral, what I would be saying is go deeper into our markets, be more meaningful, sustainable, and have basically maybe service 3 or 4 times the customers that we're servicing today and not diluting the experience. Because what we've built is a strong, loyal brand and the largest B2C facing company in the country
B2C,
today,
yeah.
B2C. So 93% of our customers coming in and we being able to give that unique and differentiated experience is what we would want to continue and be able to serve 3 to 4 times of the customers. So that's going to be our main interest going forward.
Right. And very lastly, in terms of financials as well, the kind of CAGR growth that we've seen in the last 2 to 3 years, is that something that we will be maintaining, or do you think we will be outperforming the same as well?
So we are very confident about continuing the growth. Obviously, everybody aspires to have better growth, and two of us also. But I think if you look at our model itself, integrated, we have built it largely. It's a company-owned centers. The company manages it, and in the last 3 years itself, we've added over 30 centers. So that's kind of the capabilities that the company has already built. So we don't see any challenges in the organic growth in terms of keeping this going. And the company is also open to looking at any kind of acquisition opportunities that come up. We are a debt-free company. We've built this liquidity on our balance sheet for the growth. So we are also going to be looking at any opportunities to maybe use some of these acquisitions. If we can find a right fit, then they will add further to the growth. So I think, yes, we're quite very confident about the growth going forward.
Right. And very lastly, I'm not sure if you can give forward-looking statements, but any plans on how many centers are we looking to add in the next 12 to 18 months?
So as you mentioned, it will be hard to give you numbers, but that's the reason I mentioned. If you take the last, say, 3 years, we've added over 30 centers.
Right. Got it. So we'll extrapolate from that as well. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you, Suprita, Sunil, as well as Narasimha. Pleasure speaking to you guys. Congratulations once again, and hoping to speak to you once the IPO opens and understand what are the kind of anchor book additions that we've seen as well. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.